Hello, in the previous video we talked about packages and we learned how we can install packages and remove them. So whenever you install a package, it's going to install globally on your operating system. Usually that's okay when you have just a few projects on your system. But if you have multiple projects and each project using different packages, then you'll have to install a lot of packages globally on your system, and that is going to be problematic. So you have an option to create virtual environments. So virtual environments basically help you to install packages only for a specific project. So if you have multiple projects, when you install a package on a virtual environment related to any project, it's just going to install it for that project. It's not going to install it globally for all your projects. And in order to create a virtual environment, all you have to do is open your terminal, type python-m, v stands for virtual environment, and you're going to enter the path to the folder of your project. So in the previous video, I've created a folder called Python packages for myself. And by the way, make sure your virtual environment path does not contain any space. So I'm just gonna rename this to projects. So inside my projects folder, there's a folder called demo. So let's rename this to Python project 1. So you can create as many projects as you want. Let's create another one, Python project 2, and so on. So for example, let's say we want to create a virtual environment for our Python project 1. So in order to do that, you need a terminal. So go ahead and open a terminal. You could even use Visual Studio Code terminal. So I'm going to copy the path to my project and write python-m v env and finally path to my folder. And when I hit enter, it is going to create a bunch of files for me. Now that we have created our virtual environment, whenever we want to install a package inside this virtual environment, we can go to our terminal, and first we need to activate the environment that we want to work with. So in this case, we want to work on our project 1. So to do that, inside our terminals, we're going to go to the scripts folder. So we need the path to the project and the scripts folder inside the project. So I'm gonna copy that path, and inside the terminal, we're gonna write down that path to the scripts folder / activate. So we don't need to write Python before the path. We're just gonna write the path and we call activate. When I hit enter, it is going to activate the virtual environment for me. As you can see, it's going to write the project name inside parentheses for me, and this indicates that this virtual environment is right now active. And any package you install using this terminal is going to be installed on this virtual environment. And if I use pip list here, it's going to list all the packages that are inside this virtual environment. So let's go ahead and open another terminal. So right now I have two terminals. So this is the global and this is the virtual environment. Let's clear this. So if I write pip list inside my global environment, it is going to list the packages that are in my global environment. And if I list the packages inside my virtual environment for the project 1, it's only going to list these two packages. And let's, for example, install a package on the virtual environment. And as you can see, it is going to install it in this project. So if I go to my project 1, inside library folder, you'll see that this is a list of packages that are currently in this virtual environment. So virtual environment is basically a project. That's how you're gonna do it using a terminal. And let's actually go ahead and do it in Visual Studio as well. So I'm gonna do it for the project number 2. Let's go ahead and open the projects folder. I'm gonna load folder 2. So as you can see, it is empty. So I'm going to create a app.py, and now if I run this, it's just an empty project. It's going to pop up the terminal, and here I'm going to type python-m virtual environment. And of course, we need a path to the virtual environment. So when we did it in the terminal, we entered the full path of the project, but inside Visual Studio, as you can see, the project path has already been selected. So all you have to do to specify a folder that you want to install your virtual environment inside of it. So in our first project, we just installed the virtual environment inside the main directory of our project. But it would be better if we just create a folder for it and put our virtual environment inside that folder. So I'm just going to create a folder and let's just name the folder venv. That is the virtual environment folder. So I'm going to type python-m venv and I'm going to add the path to the virtual environment. So the folder name is venv. And as I mentioned, you don't need to enter the full path because the path is selected. You just need to enter the name of folder. So this is 2 venvs. I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to ask you, notify the new environment has been created. Do you want to select it for the workspace? Yes, we want that. And that's it. Our virtual environment has been created. If we go to the folder we just created, all the files are here. So as I mentioned, in order to activate a virtual environment, you need to go to the scripts folder inside that environment. And you can use the terminal to call activate. So this is the path to the virtual environment in my project 2. So if I hit enter, it's going to activate that for me. And if I get a list of the packages, it's just going to print the list of packages inside this virtual environment. And you can install and remove any packages as you want. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had any questions, feel free to ask and make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.